Frankie Friday.
Not today, don't ask him today.
Ask Frankie Friday.
Well, maybe you should ask him something today.
Ask Frankie Friday.
You know what? Go ahead and ask him something today.
Ask Frankie Friday.
Then he'll answer you on Friday.
What up? It's Friday, August 24th, 2012. I am Frankie Finger Dex, and you're watching an all-new episode of Ask Frankie Friday.
That's right.
What up, homies? Thanks for tuning in for an awesome episode of Ask Frankie. So why is that awesome? I have no idea. Just teasing. It's awesome because not only are we going to answer your questions and build a cool ramp, but we're also going to go over the contest results, which means 8 people are each going to win a set of brand new CNC bearing wheels from Roswellskateboards.com. So instead of talking about it, let's go ahead and end the video right now. Later. Just teasing. Let's go!
Let's answer your questions.
Alright, the first question is from the homie DBZ Baytech. Frankie, where'd you get the FSS soda can? Alright, for the homies that don't know, you can download an FSS soda can cover at my website, which is therealfss.com. The link is right down there in the description. All you have to do is go there, download it, print it, cut it out, wrap it around a can, and you're good to go. Alright, the next one is from Kevin Christensen 37. Do you wax your ledges or rails, or do you just leave them normal? I definitely do not wax fingerboard obstacles. I got slippy tape. But yeah, I wouldn't wax them either way. You just don't need it with a fingerboard. Alright, the next one is from my homie Joshua, who is from Puerto Rico. So shout out to all the fingerboarders in Puerto Rico. Frankie, what's your favorite ramp and what can you do on it? My favorite ramp is definitely the FSS spine from AphlikshunFingerboards.com. It's super fun, but I stink at vert tricks. But it is hands down the most fun ramp you can get.
True dat.
Alright, the next one is from the Armbrust. Hey Frankie, whenever I ollie up to grind, I hesitate. Do you know how to stop it? You know, it's just something we all have to practice to get smoother at. I think everyone does it, but if you practice enough, you can get to the point where when you stop for such a short time, you can only really see it in slow motion. Just keep practicing. You will get smoother and smoother. I know it's frustrating because I did it when I was first starting and I still do it, so just gotta practice. The next one is from Passive Fingers. Frankie, what kind of pizza do you like? Any kind. Ham and barbecue, extra cheese, tons of anchovies. Just kidding. I like everything but anchovies, so we'll take those out. Next one is from SN Skating Ninja. Frankie, can you give a shout out to my friend? His dad passed away. Also, can you shout out my new dog Lola? Yes, definitely. Shout out to your friend. Sorry to hear about his dad. I hope he's doing okay. And shout out to Lola. New dogs are exciting, right? Even though I just have a cat. Isn't that right, Fido? Ow, darn it. Alright guys, and the last question of the day is from Douglas5566F4. Frankie, do your wheels have bearings in them? Now, if you're talking about the weirdo wheels, they do not. They are just regular, non-bearing wheels in really weird colors. So yeah.
It is what it is.
Alright guys, thank you to everyone who asked the question. I get a lot of questions, so if you have a question for me, be sure to toss it right down there. Alright, before we go any further, I think we should check out some of your trick clips, starting with this one from the homie Tropical Dex.
Yay. Nice.
And here goes the clip from the Angelos 31.
Sickety.
Let's go ahead and check out one more. It's from the Banana Tar.
Sweet.
Alright, don't forget guys, if you would like to have one of your trick clips featured right here on FSS, all you have to do is email a single trick clip along with your YouTube name to fsstotd@yahoo.com.
Super easy.
Alright, so you guys have been giving me some awesome ramp ideas for the Tape and Box Workshop, but I was eating some Pringles earlier and I had a really good idea for a ramp. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but that doesn't mean we can't try. Here we go!
FSS's Tape and Box Workshop.
What up everyone? Welcome to today's Tape and Box Workshop. So my idea for today's obstacle, a street spine. Now I know that sounds weird, but I got the idea while I was eating Pringles. At first, I wasn't planning on using another can. In the last Tape and Box Workshop, I also used a can. It was bigger around, but yeah. But when I was looking at this can, it really gave me a good idea. Plus it's really long, and that'll make the obstacle really long, so that'll be pretty cool. My idea was for like a really low, long street spine. So basically what I'm gonna do is cut the ends off. I'm gonna cut it in half, turn turn the halves around and make a little spine. Should be pretty simple. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So, things you need. Pringles can, or any round can. Just because I'm using a Pringles can doesn't mean you have to. As always, packaging tape, snippers, and a very sharp X-Acto knife. Remember, if you're using a knife, be very, very careful. If you're using a knife, be very, very careful. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the ends off, top and the bottom. Here we go. Alright, I got the top off. Now I'm going to cut the bottom off. Alright, so there's what we got so far. We got the top and the bottom off. First thing I'm going to do is try and cut it exactly in half. I'm going to use the line on the side of the nutrition facts just as a guide to help me keep it straight. Then I'm going to try and cut exactly along the other side. Then we'll go from there. So let's cut this in half. Alright, you can see where I cut it. Probably not perfectly straight, but straight enough for what we're doing. Just get it as close as you can. Alright, so here we go. All I did, just to recap, is I cut the top and bottom rings off, then I cut the can in half. I'm going to go ahead and cut these halves in half, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I've still got a half left, so if I wanted, I could make it 2 times the length, but I think I'm just going to make it this long because I think that's long enough. But if you really wanted to, you got the whole other half, but I'm not going to use the other half of this can. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and see which 2 edges are closer to being straight, and then I'm going to tape those together. I think those 2 look pretty good. What do you think? Close enough. Hopefully it isn't too greasy. There was potato chips in there. Maybe take an old rag and give it a wipe over. Alright. So I'm going to tape the entire length of the can, and right now I'm just taping right where the spine is. So I'm going to hold them up like this and try and tape them perfectly. This is tricky because it's so long. And remember, like always, on your writing surface you want it as smooth as possible. Try not to get too many wrinkles or anything in your tape like I'm doing here. Actually, I did pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and fold the ends under just for extra support. Alright, so there you can see we made a butterfly taped together. So basically, bam, that's it right there. And just like every taping box workshop, whenever I fingerboard the obstacle, I always put tape along the edge just so it's extra smooth writing onto it. And this is going to be no different. I'm going to tape down both sides. That's going to make it smoother to write onto, and it's going to keep it held up. So I'm going to go ahead and tape it down. Try and keep it smooth. There we go, I've got it taped down on both sides. That's actually pretty tough. So there you go. This would be a really cool obstacle if you have like a blank area in your fingerboard park. Throw one of these in. As you can see, it was very simple to make, but very cool. I'm going to try a couple tricks on here. Remember guys, you don't always have to make the same ramp that I do, but if you do make a ramp, make sure you snap a picture of it and send me a picture of it to FSSPictures@yahoo.com. Remember to include your YouTube name, and I'll show the ramp that you made after the next taping box workshop. So it is what it is. Make a street spine.
Or whatever you want.
Alright, here we go. Alright, not too bad I guess. It's kind of low. You might want to use a bigger can, but
It is a cool obstacle.
and remember homies, like I said, you don't always have to make the same kind of ramp that I do. Make anything you like. Just remember, after you make it, snap a picture of it, send a picture with your YouTube name to FSSPictures@yahoo.com, and I'll show it after my next taping box workshop. And speaking of ramps that you guys made,
Let's check out your ramp.
Frankie finger deck.
I've said it before, I said it again after that, and then again after that, and I'm gonna say it again now. You guys are the best at making ramps.
Yeah.
Alright guys, enough messing around. I know what you guys tuned in for.
Let's get into it.
Contest results.
Alright guys, I got the winning number right in here, but before I announce the 8 winners, I just gotta say thank you to everyone that participated. Also, I know a lot of people get sad if they don't win, but remember, we had over 1,500 people enter in this contest, and there's only 8 winners. So, not everyone can win every time, but do not be bummed, because I'm gonna try and have these contests as often as I can.
So be on the lookout. Alright, here we go. The winning number is
6,893, 6893. That's right. Now, no one guessed the exact winning number, so we're looking for the closest to this number without going over. So, I'm gonna go backwards and start with 8th place. Now, 2 people guessed the exact number for 8th place, but the person that guessed it first counts as per the rules. So, 8th place with the number of 6,852, PhilBwanKenobi. And 7th place with the number of 6,853, Queso Bandito 1. 6th place with a number of 6,854. SHG Do SH1. That's right. 5th place with a number of 6,858. P for Plane Fly. 4th place with a number of 6,868. Pitbull Puppy. 3rd place with a number of 6,874. Wastemanic Fingerboard. 2nd place with a number of 6,875. Techmaster 175. And 1st place, the person that came closest to this number without going over, with a number of 6,879. Laser Dude 315.
You already know.
Alright, congratulations to the winners. I will be hollering at you guys unless you get a hold of me first. Either way, we'll get that taken care of. Alright, remember homies, like I said, I am going to try and have more frequent contests, so there's going to be plenty more times to win stuff. Not to mention we're going to have more homework on Tuesday. Alright then, Bubbles and Bubettes, that's it for this episode of AFF. Make sure you guys tune in on Tuesday for TFT, and do not forget that the FSS sticker design contest is coming to an end. The deadline is September 1st.
So get your design posted.
And while you're doing all that, don't forget to email your trick clips to be featured right here on FSS. Also, email your pics and drawings for the Frankie frame and represent. Send in your Frankie mail and or buy an FSS product. Ask me a question for next Friday's AFF. Thank you guys for watching and supporting FSS. I really appreciate it. Now, very gently without mashing your Macintosh, I will see you guys sooner than later.